Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we'll solve one of the classic computer science problems, coin change, Leetcode 322. This problem is part of Blind 75, a curated list of essential coding interview questions. You can find the full list linked in the description below. Be sure to check it out. Now to the problem. In this problem, we are given an integer array coins representing coins of different denominations and an integer array amount representing a total amount of money. The task is to return the minimum number of coins required to make that amount. If that amount of money cannot be made up by any combination of coins, then we should return -1. And we can assume that we are given infinite supply of each type of coin. Now let's look at some examples. In example 1, we are given coins as 1, 2 and 5. So we will have infinite supply of these denominations and amount is given as 11. And as we want to choose the fewest number of coins, we pick up the largest denomination first. So we will pick up coin 5 and we have amount of 6 remaining. Then we pick up another coin of 5 and now we have amount remaining as 1. And then we pick up the coin as 1, which makes the amount 0. So that means our change is now complete and the total number of coins we used were 3, which will be our answer. Note that we can also change this amount by other ways as well. For example, we can take 5 coins of denomination 2 and 1 coin of denomination 1, which will result in same amount, but number of coins will be 6, which is not optimal. So the correct answer is 3. Then in example 2, we are given infinite supply of coins with denomination 2 and amount is equal to 3. So we try to make a change. We pick up the coin of denomination 2 and now we have amount remaining as 1. But at this point, we cannot proceed further because there is no denomination available to match this amount 1. Hence, it is impossible to make up the amount 3 with the given denominations and so we will return -1 as our answer. Now, in terms of solution, we may think that the greedy approach may work, where we choose the largest denomination coin that does not exceed the remaining amount. While this might seem intuitive, it does not always guarantee the optimal solution. For example, here are the coin denominations given to us with infinite supply. So we start with denomination 5 and pick one coin. Then we will have amount of 6 remaining. Then we pick the coin 5 again. Now we have amount of 1 remaining. Now we can't pick the coins with denomination 5 or 2 as the amount will become negative. And the maximum denomination now we can pick is 1. So we pick one coin with denomination 1 and now the amount becomes 0. So that means we were able to make the complete change with optimal 3 coins. And hence this time the greedy solution is correct. But now let's take a counter example with coins as 1, 3 and 4 and amount as 6. Again we start with coin of largest denomination which is smaller than amount, which is 4 in this case. And now amount reduces to 2. Now the largest coin we can make a change with is 1. So we will take one of this coin and we still have 1 remaining. And again we use coin with denomination 1 and now the amount becomes 0. So this time again with the greedy approach, we require 3 coins to make a change. But if you observe carefully and pick up coin 3, we just need 2 coins of this denomination. So the greedy approach fails here. So the coin systems like 1, 2, 5, 10 are generally called canonical systems, where the greedy approach generally works for finding the fewest number of coins. However, to ensure that our solution works for all types of coin systems, including non-canonical ones, we need to rely on dynamic programming. But first let's look at the naive or recursive approach to solve this problem. The naive approach to solve this problem will be to try out all possible combinations of coins to make up the target amount. At each step, we attempt to subtract the value of each coin and recursively solve the problem for the remaining amount. The goal is to minimize the number of coins required. For example, here we have the coin denominations of 1, 2 and 5. So in the decision tree, we have 3 possible choices at each step. We can take coin of denomination 1, 2 or 5. Now if we choose coin of denomination 1, we have remaining amount as 7 minus 1 equal to 6. Similarly, if we choose coin of 2, the remaining amount will be 7 minus 2 equal to 5. And if we take coin of 5, the remaining amount will be 2. So now let's delve deeper into one branch, such as solving for amount 2 and see how base cases play a role. Again from this node, we have 3 possible choices. Either we can choose coin of denomination 1 or 2 or 5. So if we choose coin of denomination 1, we have remaining amount as 1. If we choose coin of 2, remaining amount is 0. At this point, we hit a base case because the amount is now 0, meaning we no longer need any coins to make a change. So we stop here for this path. Similarly, if we use coin of denomination 5, the amount now becomes -3, which is negative. And this is another base case as we can't have negative amount for a change. So we stop here for this path as well. Now continuing further down this path, we again have 3 possible choices. Either we can choose coin of denomination 1 or 2 or 5. And if we choose coin of denomination 1, remaining amount is 0. So we have hit the base case again. And this is also a valid way to make a change. And if we choose the coins of denomination 2 and 5, the remaining amount becomes negative. So we will backtrack and continue with the rest of the paths. Now let's expand the recursion tree further. For example, from this node, we again have 3 possible choices with denominations 1, 2 and 5, and the remaining amounts will be 5, 4 and 1 respectively. And this is how we will continue with the rest of the recursion tree, where we will see many paths leading to successful coin change, but we have to return the minimum number of coins to reach the target amount, which is through this path with 2 coins of denomination 5 and 2, and this is a minimum number of coins to make a change and will ultimately be our answer. Now the time complexity of this approach is O of n to the power of a, where n is number of coin denominations and a is target amount. Because at each step we have n possible choices and the depth of the recursion will be proportional to amount divided by minimum of coin denominations. For example, here that coin was 1, so we will have to go 7 times deeper just to make a change in this case. And in the worst case, minimum value can be equal to 1. Hence the depth of the recursion in worst case will be equal to a. And so the time complexity will be equal to n to the power of a. And the space complexity will be equal to O of a due to the recursion called depth. And now the question is, can we do better? And the answer is yes. You might have already noticed the presence of repeating subproblems such as amount of 5 or amount of 1. Recomputing these subproblems across different branches of the recursion tree leads to the same result and eventually leading to exponential time complexity. For example, for amount of 1, the recursion subtree here is exactly same as the one on the right. So to address this inefficiency, we can use caching or memoization. The idea is simple. Whenever a result for a specific amount is computed for the first time, we will store it in a cache, for example, dictionary or an array. And then whenever the same problem is encountered again, we retrieve the result directly from the cache instead of recomputing it. By doing this, we eliminate the redundant computations and ensure that each unique subproblem is solved at most once. This reduces the time complexity to O of a into n, because now for each amount, this problem will be solved at most once by iterating over all the n coins to compute the minimum number of coins. However, the space complexity remains O of a because of the recursive call depth and this memoization table, where we store the results for all the amounts from 0 to a. If you are interested in the full solution with code for the recursive or top-down dynamic programming approach, it is available in the linked post in the description. I suggest first trying it out on your own to strengthen your understanding before referring to the solution. Now, while the top-down DP approach works and is optimal and uses recursion with memoization, the bottom-up approach uses a tabulation method or DP table to iteratively solve the problem. This method is often preferred for its clarity and the avoidance of recursive call stack overhead. The idea of the DP approach is, instead of starting from the target amount and breaking the problem down, we start with amount 0 and build solutions incrementally for all amounts up to the target amount, and store the results in the DP table, where each entry at the index I, that is DP of I, represents the minimum number of coins required for that amount. And by the time we calculate the value of DP of A, it will represent the answer. For example, here we will create a DP array of size A plus 1 as we start from the amount 0. So here it will have 8 positions from amounts 0 to 7. Now let's fill in the DP table iteratively, starting with the base case, which is amount 0. Now if the amount is 0, no coins are needed to make a change. Hence, DP of 0 will be 0. Now let's fill in the rest of the DP table. So for each amount I, we compute the DPI by trying out every available coin C in the coins array. So if we are using the coin C, then we will look back in the DP table to see the minimum number of coins required to make the change for the amount I minus C. Since we are filling the DP table from smaller amounts upwards, and as long as the resulting amount I minus C is not negative, we can simply retrieve the value from DP of I minus C. We then add one coin to the value to account for the current coin C, as this coin now allows us to make the current amount I from I minus C. And we repeat this process for all available coins and compute the minimum number of coins among them, as we are looking for the smallest combination. Now let's fill in DP of 1, that is minimum number of coins required for amount 1, and it will be equal to 1, as we will use coin of denomination 1. So DP of 1 will be equal to DP of 0 plus 1 equal to 1. Then we will try to make the change using coin 2 and 5. But the amounts 1 minus 2 and 1 minus 5, that is minus 1 and minus 4, are negative. So we skip those coins and the minimum value for DP of 1 stays 1. Now let's fill in DP of 2. So again we use coin 1 first and the remaining amount will be 1. So we check if we already know the minimum number of coins required for changing the amount 1, which is DP of 1. So DP of 2 will be equal to number of coins required for DP of 1 plus 1 for coin 1, which is equal to 1 plus 1 equal to 2. Then we try out coin 2 and the remaining amount we have to make change for is 0. So DP of 2 will be equal to DP of 0 plus 1, which will be equal to 1 in this case. And since we want fewest coins for the change, we will take minimum of 2 and 1, which will be equal to 1. And now we will try to use coin 5, but it cannot be used as the amount will become negative. So DP of 2 stays 1. Now we will try to fill in DP of 3, and first we use coin 1, which will result in DP of 2 plus 1 equal to 2. Then we will try out coin 2, which will result in DP of 1 plus 1, which is equal to 2. So the minimum value stays 2 itself. And then we try out coin 5, which will result in negative amount. So we skip that. So DP of 3 will be equal to 2. Now let's fill in DP of 4. So if you use coin 1, it will be equal to DP of 3 plus 1, which will result in 3 coins. Then we try out coin 2, which gives DP of 2 plus 1 equal to 2. And now since it is less than 3, this is the new minimum value. So DP of 4 becomes 2. And then we will try out coin 5, which results in negative amount. Hence we will skip this coin and DP of 4 stays 2. Now let's fill in DP of 5. And first let's try out coin 1, which will result in DP of 4 plus 1 equal to 3. Next we try out coin 2, which will give DP of 5 as DP of 3 plus 1, which is also equal to 3. So minimum value says 3 itself. Now we try out coin 5, which gives DP of 5 as DP of 0 plus 1 equal to 1. And it is the new minimum now. So DP of 5 is equal to 1. Now let's fill in DP of 6. If we use coin with denomination 1, then DP of 6 will be equal to DP of 5 plus 1, which is equal to 2. If we use coin of 2, then DP of 6 will be equal to DP of 4 plus 1 equal to 3, which is more than the current value. So the minimum value stays 2. Then we will try coin of 5, which will result in DP of 1 plus 1, which will also give 2. So the minimum value stays 2 itself. Now let's fill in DP of 7, starting with coin 1. So in this case, DP of 7 will be equal to DP of 6 plus 1, which will result in 3. Next we will use coin 2, which gives DP of 7 as DP of 5 plus 1, which is equal to 2. And as this is less than 3, this will be the new minimum. And then we will try out coin 5, which gives DP of 7 as DP of 2 plus 1, which is equal to 2 again. So dp of 7 stays 2. And now since the dp table is complete, we will return dp of 7 as our answer, which is equal to 2. Now the time complexity of this approach is also O of a into n. Since for each amount in the dp table, we iterate through all the coin denominations, and the space complexity will be O of a for using this dp table of size a plus 1. Here is a quick code walkthrough of the algorithm we just talked about, with Java code on left and Python on right. First, let's create dp array of size amount plus 1 needed for each amount. As we have to find the minimum value later, initially all the entries in the dp array are filled with infinity. Now to represent infinity, we can use integer.maxValue in Java or floating point infinity in Python. But in Java, if we use integer.maxValue, that may lead to potential overflows. So we use safer value for infinity, which is amount plus 1, as it will be the minimum number of coins to make a change for amount if we use only 1 unit coin. This value ensures no valid solution will ever exceed amount. Also, in terms of constraints, amount at maximum can be equal to 10 to the power of 4, which is well within the integer limits. Now let's fill in the base case, which is amount of 0, for which we need 0 coins to make a change. Now we will iterate through possible amounts from 1 up to the target amount using the iterator say I, and for every coin we will check if it can contribute to the current amount by checking if it is less than or equal to the current amount. If it is, then we calculate the potential number of coins needed to make the amount I using the current coin, which is dp of I minus coin plus 1, and the minimum of these values will be our answer for the current I. And after iterating through all the amounts up to target, the last element in the dp table, that is dp of amount, will hold the minimum number of coins needed to make the target. But if the dp of amount is still equal to infinite, that is amount plus 1, it means the target amount cannot be formed with the given coins, so we return minus 1. Otherwise, we will return dp of amount. So that's all for this video. I hope this video was useful to you. If it was, please give it a thumbs up and share it with others who might benefit from it. If you haven't subscribed the channel yet, make sure to hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so that you never miss an update. Your support helps me create more content like this. If you have any questions or suggestions, feel free to leave them in the comments below. Thanks for watching and see you in the next one.